I'm Sarah. I'm gonna make Makloubi the Syrian way. Come inside. Makloubi means upside down in Arabic. It's a very traditional dish. It's cooked in not just Syrian, other countries too, but everyone has their own way of making it. It's close to my heart as a Syrian because we always make this dish when we have like an important, not an important, like a celebration or like when you have family or friends coming over. It's like a really big dish to make, and it's my favorite because I love aubergine.
The first step to making makloubi is to cut one big aubergine or 2 medium ones in rounds. It's definitely the centerpiece of the dish because it adds some sort of soft texture to the dish and it's a contrast to the other ingredients. The next step is to add 1 teaspoon of salt to your cutted aubergines, and that helps with sucking up all the water in it and also adding more flavors to it. Once you finish with that, you can put all your aubergines to the side and move on to the next step, which is to cook the chicken. And for that, you're going to need a lot of flavorful spices like cinnamon, cardamom, and bay leaves. You can then proceed to adding your chicken to the water, cleaned chicken, because I hope you clean your chicken. Usually I see Sarah cleaning her chicken with salt and vinegar, but everyone has their own way. But please clean your chicken before cooking it. Turn on the stove on a medium-high heat under your chicken preparation. And we can move on to preparing the aubergines that we cut earlier. And to do that, add lots of oil in a small deep pan because we want to fry the aubergines. Heat the oil up. Since it's going to be very oily, obviously have a plate with a few tissues in order to absorb all the oil of the aubergines that we are going to prepare. Add one by one the slices of aubergines in the pan, oily pan, but be very careful not to hurt yourself or get too close to the oil because it might burn your eye or your face with the splashes of oil. Let it stay in the oil until it gets golden. They are all golden now, so we can take them out. The aubergines are fully done. Now let's take care of the chicken. Usually there are these little moosey parts in the water that you have to take out because it's basically dirt. So make sure you take them out with whatever you have. Ha ha ha, you only thought that there was gonna be chicken in the makloubi. Well, no, there's also beef. I mean, everyone has their own way of doing it, but add some beef on a pan and cook that. Now, rice preparation, also a centerpiece to the dish. Clean your rice very, very well. And once cleaned, leave it to the side in the cleaned water for some time. To add more flavors, add 2 teaspoons of chicken stock to the chicken and also 2 teaspoons of chicken stock to your beef. To add some spice, add a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of chili.
We have everything ready. Now we have to start layering the makloubi so we can cook it.
Find yourself a beautiful tomato and cut it in rounds to start the layering, and let's listen to Sarah.
I always try to help mum when I can to learn our traditional dishes because they're not easy to make. But it's always Arabic food at home. Like we do sometimes make different types of food, but we try to keep it traditional so that we grew up the same way that my parents did. Now I've layered the tomatoes. These aren't part of the dish in terms of like eating it. It's mainly just to stop the rice and the ingredients from sticking to the pan. So I'm just putting in a bit of rice at the start, so that if it sticks, it's rice. It's okay, you can just remove it. I don't know the difference between different Levantine countries and how they make makloubi. I think some countries do it only with minced meat and some countries only do it with chicken. But in my family, we do both chicken and meat. So now that the minced meat is ready and cooked, we just put that on the top, or at the bottom. It will be at the top when we flip it. My parents tried their hardest to ensure that we were connected to our culture, even though we lived in the UK. They didn't let us speak English at home. We had to go to Arabic school. At home was only Arabic TV, only things that they were used to growing up. Like, they made sure that we had that same sort of experience. I feel like I'm very Syrian, to be honest. When I'm in Syria, I can relate to everything. I know what's going on, the areas, because my parents would tell me, oh, this is where we used to work, this is where we used to go to school, this is where your granddad grew up, etc, etc. So I feel like I'm really connected in that sense, but when I'm there, they can just tell I'm foreign. So it's kind of that crisis of, you know.
I do know.
Yeah. So now we're putting the aubergine on top. Of course Syria feels like home, but you know, a lot has happened and my parents' memory of Syria is not the same memory that we have, so it becomes a bit problematic for us trying to relate their childhood memories with our memories, because of course, as you know now, it's not the same as it was 20, 30 years ago. Every time we used to travel to Syria, my parents would bring back, because we're from the coast, so we're really used to the greenery and the fruit and the veg around us. So it's quite hard to grow it in this country, but we try our hardest. We've got the grape leaves outside, we've got a little fountain, reminds us of Damascus. We've got the jasmine plants. So all of these things, you know, help us connect to home. Obviously we've got mosaics, we don't have any here at the moment, but we've got the tables, mosaics, and we've got the little boxes. They're all little things that just remind us of home. We've got the big portraits as well, like areas in Syria of the Umayyad Mosque and the traditional Damascene home. So yeah, these are all things that help us. Next layer is the chicken. So you kind of just break it apart a bit so that when someone puts from the food, they get a piece of chicken rather than a big piece. Now it's time to add the rice. You kind of just put it everywhere so that it goes in the empty areas. The flavouring that we put in earlier, like the cardamom and the cinnamon, bay leaves, we need to just take them out because we're going to be using this water for the rice. We need to put it on the stove. So now we're putting the chicken broth in. We'll be cooking it with the rice, and then we'll add more water accordingly, depending on how much is needed. Oh, yeah, so that's everything. Okay. So now that you can just taste the chicken stock, see what it needs. I think it needs a bit of salt, but you don't want to add too much because we already added salt to the aubergine, so it'll make it a little bit salty. Yeah, okay, should be good. So now that the stove is on, we need to wait for it to boil and then we'll put the lid on. Okay, so now I'm going to make myself methi while I wait for the food, and you can watch me do it. Methi isn't actually Syrian, it's Argentinian, but around 100 years ago, during the Ottoman Empire, when they colonized Syria, a lot of Syrian Lebanese, back then it wasn't really Syria, Lebanon, it was just the Levant. A lot of refugees traveled to South America, so when they were able to travel back to Syria, they brought a lot of their culture back with them, and methi is one of them. We actually make it in this cup, which isn't the traditional cup that you drink it in. It's like this. We got this from Spain, but we don't really drink in it because it's like a lot, like you have to put a lot of methi in this to enjoy it. We're used to drinking it in these little cups. We also have like little ones we got from Syria. This one's my one. It's got roses and flowers. And then this is another one that we have. And then we have these ones. These are like, they're more like mosaic. You don't actually drink in them. They're just nice to have there. And this one's really nice as well. So depending on how much you want to drink, I'm making one for every class. So I'm going to make this one light, and then I'll make my one a bit heavier. This has a lot of caffeine in it. I can't drink this before bed. A lot of people drink this at night, but I can only drink it in the day because if I drink it, I'll stay up till like 6, 7 in the morning. Now what you need to do is, you need to heat up some water, not until it boils, just before it boils, because if it boils it ruins the drink. I think it's really important as a Syrian to express our culture through food, and you know, in little monuments in the house, and sharing it with our friends and family outside of Syria, because with everything going on the past 10 years and more, to be honest, we don't have a lot to hold on to other than our history. So it's really important for us to express ourselves in a different way that people may see it, through our food and our house and our hospitality, and you know, how we share these things.
Can you tell me what you're wearing?
So this is a traditional, it's actually Palestinian. This is called tatriz. It's a type of embroidery done in Palestine. Different types of patterns are from different areas in Palestine. I don't really know too much detail about it, but they do sell it in Syria, Jordan, and other Levantine countries. This one I bought from Damascus. I really like the red and gold and the black, so I really like this. And I just wear it at home sometimes, like if guests are coming over and I don't really want to wear pajamas, but I don't want to dress in outside clothing, it's just comfortable to dress in this. Okay, so now that the rice has expanded, most of the water is gone, it's nearly ready to be finished. Once this is done, leave it for a bit to cool, and then it'll be ready to flip, because the longer you leave it to cool, the more the rice holds together.
look at the star of the show. There she is, Makloubi the Syrian way. And the cherry on top is fried nuts on top of the rice. And in order to do that, you just need to fry some nuts in butter and add it just on top, and it's delicious.
Thank you very much for watching this video, and it's been a pleasure sharing my culture.